Hey, what's going on? People had a lot to say in the live stream, so let's give them a chance to come up to actually talk some stuff to the MOT in person. So we just gonna give them a couple chances to come up. It's not a problem. Rollo, anybody who think I was wrong about what I said, just come on here, just chop it up, real time. It's not gonna be that problem, that type of problem. Just come up. It's not gonna be that type of thing. So it shouldn't be that much of a problem for people to come up here because there's a lot of people who disagree with me on things in the space, but they're just not man enough to bring their motherfucking ass up here and talk to me about it, right? They keep claiming that the links never dropped and we ducking them and all this kind of other stuff, so it's not that big of a deal to just come up and just talk about it. Trust me, nobody knows the ins and outs of my conversation other than I do. And if you just want to come through and just chop it up anyway, man, just hit the link anyway. What's wrong, James? Saying, man? What's wrong? Oh, just sweet melody media. What's going on? So let's see if they come up, man. Because I can defend my points. I can defend everything that I talked about and what I said. Because I specialize in one thing: transportation in the military-industrial complex. That's it. I don't try to specialize in any other group or any other thing other than what I actually specialize in. There's nothing wrong with coming up and asking questions about things that you're not really abreast about, things that you don't really understand, some things that you actually think that I said that you think is out of pocket. Now's your time to come up. Strong Tampa Supreme, strong Mike B. It shouldn't be a problem for you to come up and actually air out your disagreements that you have. Rollo, that's one guy. Just come up, man. If you have a problem with anything that I said, just come up and let's talk about it. Like men, let's talk about it. Strong Tampa Spring. Let's talk about it. It isn't no problem. It's like, look, once you get all the disagreements out the way, there ain't nothing but progress. But if you can't have people come through who have their disagreements about what they have, dude, I don't care what it is. Of course, I'd be covering the midterm Tampa Supreme. Hey, man, no problem. But James, hey, man, I want to let people know that I am competent in what the fuck I'm actually doing. I'm competent in that shit. You want to make money? I can help you make money. I don't need your fucking money. I need you to be having your own fucking money. I don't want you to have my money. I don't. I want you to have your own shit. So that way, when you have your own shit, you can see through it through your vantage point, through your own city. There ain't no motherfucking all this other shit you gotta have. Nah, man. Just once you get your shit together, you do whatever the fuck it is that you want to do with your money. Even if you want to save hoes and fucking be with fuck niggas, I'd rather you do that shit on your own stead, man. That's all. I'm not trying to fuck your life up. I'm trying to give your ass some fucking information to get your ass in this shit so that way you ain't got to worry about nothing, sir. I don't need your money. I don't need a bunch of broke ass children. I don't need that shit. That shit doesn't do anything for me. Nothing. It's pretty pathetic if I was to do business like that. I don't do shit like that. Since Lil Big Nate be talking all that shit about the MOT doesn't have I heard this came in. All right, since apparently nobody's coming up. All right, let's do a actual educational about political advertising because that's what's needed right now. Because people think that the Democratic Party has put together ads for last year, get your booties to the poll, and this year, no voting, no bucking. And you need to understand that I don't want people's ability to come up with political advertising to go away. But you need to understand that whether these ads come from the actual political apparatus is something that you actually need to understand. Wait, hold on. All right. So you need to understand that to get your booties to the poll person. Last year, this individual who has a lot of women apparently made an ad about get your booties to the poll. This wasn't really sanctioned by any political party because whenever you put out advertising for a political party, especially across the entire United States, or even an ad buy that's going to draw a lot of attention to something that doesn't need to be, that stuff goes through a lot of channels in order for that to be put out. And a lot of people just don't understand that if you're trying to get ads for a political party or political people to be involved, the last thing that you want to do is piss off those type of people by disrespecting them. Okay, so there ain't nobody coming out. So let's talk about the Marcel Dixon thing about running up in Raphael Warnock's face, asking about reparations. Reparations is a process. It is a process that has been very well known to everybody who has actually cared about the issue from one stage or another for the past 100, 150 years. For a guy who only got 1,200 votes running against somebody within the political establishment who's actually fighting on a whole bunch of things for black people, even though he don't get any credit for it. Once you start supporting people like Marcel Dixon and not understand that Marcel Dixon is not running up on anybody within the Republican establishment about reparations. He's not doing that. He's not running up in the face of Mitch McConnell. He's not running up in the face of, especially recently, the guy from Georgia who made it look like anybody who wanted reparations was straight up criminals. No one has done that on the Democratic side. No one has ever done that. And actually, the reparations argument is only going to be done on the Democratic side. But there's people on the other side who are voting against that, and that is the conservative ticket. The conservative ticket who were conservative Democrats back when this stuff was going on. the current people right now who are conservative Republicans right now. While the parties may have changed, the area that they are within the United States have not changed at all. None at all. They've never changed. So when you dealing with people within the manosphere who may or may not even care about the reparations piece, they're actually going after the wrong people to get the right things, rather than going after the Democrats who actually want to pass these things for you. You need to go after the actual conservative movement who's actually lock, stock, and barrel don't want to do that for you at all. The history is very simple. There are people who's trying to tear apart the Voting Rights Act. It's not the Democrats, northern big city Democrats who's trying to do that. It is small town, very rural, very red state, very southern people who are trying to not get you to actually invest your time in the political process itself. These are the people who are taking the things away from you. Remember, they're taking protections away from people. If you actually cared about the freedom that you actually claim that you care about, there is really no reason to be trying to make sure that people can't vote or make it harder for people to vote, because we know that we don't have a system designed. We don't have a national voter holiday to where everybody can just take the day off and go vote. We know that we don't have that. And we know how black people were treated at the actual polls, and it actually wasn't black people, period. In the actual South, if you were a non landowner in the South, you were treated just how black people was treated when it came to actually going to actual vote. Yeah. Oh, of course not. Mike V, they're not running up on Tim Scott, Nancy Graham. They're not running up on Herschel Walker. They're not running up on anybody. But they're only running up on people who they can think they can get away with that stuff with. I think that once these dudes run up on people, I think that if you just beat these people beneath the pavement one time and make them go to the Republican side, that that's the only side that you're going to be able to run up on people about the reparations argument, this would be a foregone conclusion. If you're not politically organized within the actual system, if you don't respect the process, you're never going to get your stuff done. That's how that works. You can like, oh, we haven't got it by now. Yeah, you are leaning on everybody else's generation in order to get something done that you want done, but you're not actually invested in the actual process within itself. Rather than waiting on the hood conservative or Lil Big Nate or Bernard Riley to actually put these things together for you, they're the actual conservatives who's conserving the black woman's power within the environment. The power you claim that you don't want to be a part of, right? You have to understand that politics are easy. Participation is easy. You know what's hard? Maintaining ignorance. That's what's hard. Yeah, I see these pictures of people trying to sabotage any type of progress that is going on within the political environment. But they're only doing it from the Democratic side. They never run up on any conservatives to do the same thing. Because they know if they run up on the conservatives doing the actual same thing, that they're not going to get any type of help with those things. They're not. So there's really no rationale of even paying attention to these loud, angry, stagnant people. Because the only thing that they're trying to do is bring you back to the political discussion. When talking about women, they're trying to merge two issues together: is the hatred for the woman and the lack of political progress for the men. This is why people don't take you seriously, because you don't actually follow the process that everybody else is following. You don't see the LGBT or Asians or Latins or even Indians following the same process that we're following. You don't see people who actually want something out of the political process engage in things the way that we're trying to engage with them. Thank for the like Brussels. So what I'm saying is this: I'm not on the left because I'm on the left. I'm on the left because there's the only way to get things done. If you go issue by issue, and if you understand the issues inside and out, outside of the military industrial complex, which I'm a part of, it makes sense for me to be where I am. But Eric Bird, it wasn't a problem when he was the only person. That's the only thing about O'Shea. He wanted to be the only person who can take in all this money and attention and everything else. And once everybody else had the same ability to do the same thing that he was doing, that's when it became a problem because it became a competition with what he was doing. That's what it was. So it's not that big of a deal. So the link has been dropped for the person who did email me claiming that I don't have the link dropped, even though it is pinned to the actual top of the live stream. There you go. And you are correct, Wacky World of O, that it is easier to hand people that rather than hand them a tangible solution. It's not even trolling. It's not even a disagreement. It's only objective fact. Because Mr. Jap made the same actual argument that things were better when we were the only person live streaming. That they got to be the only gatekeepers in the manosphere. They got to be the gatekeepers of the only people who can actually talk to people. They said that shit. They said that. They said that repeatedly. Now they can't defend their actual points in front of people because they're not made for competition. They can only say the stuff behind green screens and basements, and they can't come out and actually discuss their actual issues, especially when it comes to progress. No, of course not Signal. But I mean, I just received an email by somebody who said that they can't see the link or whatever. But I just wanted to make sure that it was dropped. So you got to understand that if you don't have the progress that you want to see here, do you have it exhibited within your own life? That's the first thing. And you have to recognize that most of these people here want to fight the gender war, which is also cool. But you have to understand that when people ask you for tangible solutions to problems, you can't just go pointing at other women within the environment as the reason why something is or is not happening. The only people who blame women are bitch ass niggas. That's it. Yeah, yeah, Mike, you're right about that. But you have to realize that most of these people here, they're here for the actual abject failure for men to keep continuing. They don't want to actually stop the failure of men in total. They don't want to stop that. It's very easy. The only way to get yourself out the gender war is to be able to get your own shit together and not give it to people who don't give a shit about you. That's the only way out of this gender war piece. That's the only way not to pay attention to women that you don't care about and that you don't like. That's the only way out of it. That is correct. Marvel Secret War. I mean, these dudes are on some Hell Hydra shit, man, and you can't really stop them. The only thing that can stop these people in their tracks is the fact that you got your own stuff together and that you don't need these people's help. You don't need their help with anything. The moment you get your shit together and the moment that you realize you can survive without these people's shit, you're done with this starter. I mean, but everybody knew dope boys back in the day. I knew dope boys back in the day. The thing was is that I didn't walk around trying to trust these people and try to make sure that there was a standard of masculinity. Like that's what that was. I made sure that those people stood for what they stood for, but they were never given safe harbor around me. But they are trying to conserve something, Eric Bird, and that's the problem. Like they're trying to conserve the woman's ability to have control over everything here. That's what they're on. They are here to make sure that the woman runs everything. And the only thing they have to do is make sure that they mislead so many boys into a bad situation to where that's the only thing that they have to offer is that. Again, I don't see that much of a problem with Obsidian rather than these other guys like Rolo or Theo Waff or any of these other motherfuckers, Sub Zero, all this other shit to where, you know, Edward Anderson, BGS, like all these people who got this fucking platform, they want to claim all this shit, but they have nothing to say when it comes to actually providing tangible solutions. No answers when it comes to tangible solutions. But that's where we're at. Men can't even discuss their actual things. Think about it. If there's so many people on the conservative side who is doing so many things, how come we can't coordinate with these people and talk about our issues in the wide open in front of people? Why is it that whenever you try to talk about these things in the wide open, all the conversations kind of divvy back and focus on women? Why do you think that is? Every discussion has to focus on women. No progress, only women. And whenever women are discussed, it's always an aside to the things that are actually going on. It's going to the web. Again, they don't have smoke for me. They have smoke for what I stand for. I stand for making sure that these people don't have any type of play going forward. Can anybody else hear me? If you can hear me in the chat, press one. Um, Well, game changer, I guess it must just be you. But this is currently where we are. There's nothing wrong with American history. There is something wrong with people who don't want to coordinate, even though the history is there. If the only reason why you're here is to correct women, women who don't need to be corrected, by the way, the only way to correct women is to leave their ass the fuck alone. And this works, by the way. The women corrected the men by leaving productive men the fuck alone. Don't you understand how that works? They corrected the entire environment by leaving productive men the fuck alone and providing alternatives to productive men with these thirsty ass dudes. That's what they did. Why would you share a community with personnel who don't even treat you like human beings? And you're only considered to be a part of their community the moment that you come here to clean up after their mess. That they don't have any other use for you outside of that. I would not expect any woman to clean up after another man for any reason. Yeah, it's like, listen, you have to change the channel back within your time. We know what happened in other people's time period. We know what happened. So there's no reason to change the channel back. If you want an operational household, you have to leave people outside of the household who do not know how to act. If you do not know how to act, you move on to different things and better things. You've done the same thing that they've done. But for some reason, they want to hold you to a level of responsibility that no one else was held to. Oh, everywhere, hey man, look, I go through it all the time. Whenever I deal with different groups of people, Arabs, Indians, Asians, happy to see me when I get there. Want to know what we can do to actually work together. You have information that we need, we have things that you need. Let's sit down and let's have a conversation about shit. No problem. Talk about the things we need to talk about, and then we leave each other the fuck alone outside of that. You see, we can't do this within this environment because people have to keep the woman in charge. They have to keep the woman as the actual thing that you need to correct first, even though there's no way to correct a woman with infinite choice. You can't correct a woman with infinite choice. The only thing you can do is get your choice up to nearly infinite. And even if you do, you got to not engage in all those choices that she has because the government is backing her play. The government's not backing your play. So you got two things that you need to worry about: getting your shit together and keeping it away from people who do not respect what you actually brought to the table. Those are the two things that you need to do. LM, shit, I get it. I get it. I definitely get it. But I still have to work with these people outside of this. That's the great thing about it. I can still work with a feminist outside of what she thinks about me being a part of her family. I can still work with her on that because that ain't the only thing that we have to work with is something sexually. I can still work with women and not need to actually sleep with them in order for me to make sure that we're both okay within the environment. If a person claims to be a feminist and not family minded, then perhaps you need to move on to other people who are, which is the rest of the planet. Once you stop having one itis on this fucking bullshit, you can be able to accomplish a lot of things. You are correct, Rael. Far more correct. I witnessed that when I was in the military. But that's currently where we are. Saying that nobody's doing anything. You're stopping yourself from doing it because you don't want to make yourself better than the actual complaint system structure or anything else within the environment, and you're doing it on purpose. You're artificially holding yourself back so that way she can like you more because you're trying to create a better lick for her to take advantage of you so that way you can have guaranteed shit to complain about after she's done using you. Those are not men that you should be respecting for any reason. Period. This is currently where we are, folks. Yeah, Rael, you are correct. They had mouthpiece dudes back then. They had mouthpiece dudes back in my grandfather's generation who just thought that they could just come through, screw over everybody within the environment, and they make it forward without the work being done by every other group of people within the same environment. It's the same thing. We're fighting the same battle that these two people were fighting way back then. But we didn't have the numbers back then, and we didn't have the statistics back then to know which way this thing was going to cut, according to these two people that Rael brought up. Now we actually know what the outcome is. We know that most millennials and Gen Z cannot be saved. Why? They think the fuck nigga is actually somebody that you need to look up to as an actual standard of masculinity while pretending like they want progress. And this just it just don't end there. Most of these Gen X and actual boomers on the same shit too. How can I have nearly the same outcomes across all racial stratas, even though we grew up radically different and we have the same level of systemic failure? But there are true educated lames, though, Rael. The educated lames were the people who actually went and got education on shit that we didn't need. They went and got educated on the broken woman. They went and got educated on being fake pro black. That's what they went and got education on. They went and got education on how to make sure This system can only work if you use the same women. They did not have any intention on leaving these people behind or leaving these people outside the system. They want to create victims out of men, period, but black men in specific. This is why you got PhDs around here not educating you on how political advertising work or how anything else works. That's what I'm saying. I pretty much don't respect any liberal arts motherfucker for any reason. I don't. The problem is that these people want to feed productive people into non-productive people's hands, so that way this shit don't work. There are some people who majored in liberal arts majors that I'm going to go see next week. Most of them are women. They work at Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Mississippi Valley State, Jackson State, Delta Community College, like a lot of colleges within the area where I'm from. And most of them are women. Most of them are women. Because most of the dudes, they're not even out like that. Unless it's sports related, unless it's sports based. But that's why you got to be able to separate from this system, figure out the best ways that this stuff can actually work, and move on without these people around. It was the black PhDs that did not kick street dudes to the curb. They decided that they wanted to use all measure of black people to move forward. It's dumb. It's dumb to put ill-accomplished people together with accomplished people. They will they will compromise those people in a heartbeat. Actually, red pill finance is worse than that. When you don't have anything to bring to any type of environment, race is the only thing that you lean on in high regard. The only thing if you can bring is the hue and color of your fucking skin because you impregnated another person, then you don't bring shit to the fucking table. You don't bring anything to the table, bruh. You don't bring shit to the table. We have the blackest fucking family that we can ever fucking have. No one cares about the operability and the results of the family. Why? These people slid in home plate from fucking second base with race. We should have never let these motherfuckers slide in here with race. We should never let people slide in here with I'm just black, accept me. Fuck you. What do you bring? What actual thing that you bring? Once saw how Arabs and fucking Asian kick motherfuckers out the group when they came in with that, well, I'm fucking Asian or I'm fucking Arab shit, they kicked the motherfuckers to the curb. Fuck you. You ain't one of us. What, you mean because you got the same skin tone as us and everything else, you ain't got nothing for us? Nothing? Say it again, Bob. Mindset and culture is better than fucking race. We talk about all these great leaders, Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar. What the fuck did they do with everybody that they came across? They made the motherfuckers convert to their shit. They made them convert. There was some shit skin color based, but at the end of the day, if your ass wasn't with the crown, you weren't with the crown. What's going on, Rod Spice? So we let weak motherfuckers come in with their skin color based bullshit and try to get us to be on their program like we they bitch. Like we they bitch. We they bitch. And you got people who are here who just want to protect the skin color and the hue of the fucking children, but not the actual people who made the children with the fucking woman. And they have the nerve to fucking bring their ass around here and call themselves community minded right in our fucking face. My grandfather raised carpenters, roofers, farmers. You couldn't just be on some bullshit and be in the Mississippi Delta. Yeah, what's going on? I brought nothing to the table. Brought nothing to the fucking table. Brought nothing to the table with skin color. Once you start working with your equals, guess what happened? They try to pull the black card on your ass in a fucking heartbeat. My grandfather also had a sixth grade education. Sixth fucking grade. All the shit he taught me, sixth grade education. Sixth grade education. Wanted to make damn fucking sure that he didn't see any more motherfuckers like what he saw growing up. Sixth grade education. I'm not afraid to admit that shit. Sixth grade education. The moment the motherfucker was trying to put me in special ed to give my mother another $200 a week after my fucking father died, my grandfather was the one who went to the fucking school and said, my son will no longer be part of your institution. We're moving him to my side of town and he will go to school there. There's nothing wrong with my son. There's something wrong with this education within this city. That's what it is. Yes, a lot of people sold out their children for the extra $200 a month. Sure did. Sure did. If your child was smart as shit, they'll put your child in special ed and give the mother an extra $200 a fucking month. That's why all the money was spent on in the fucking school district, making sure that they made sure every intelligent fucking black child was fucking in special education. That's where the shit goes to. Yeah, that's what that was. And it wasn't even that, Bob. It was motherfucking other black fucking teachers who was telling my fucking mother and grandfather that no, you should take the money. You should take the money. You know, it'll do well for your family. I was like, this motherfucker is going to be the leader of our fucking family someday. That's worth more than some $200 or $300 a month. But there was plenty of bitches who took the fucking money. Plenty of dudes I raised with who were smart than the motherfucker, very well capable and shit, but their parents took the fucking money. Took the fucking money. And what do you think will happen If you have a dude who don't give a fuck about what child that he sired with this goddamn woman, and that's the deal that she's offered. Yeah, that's the point. You think these motherfuckers in the manosphere is not selling you out the same way the motherfuckers tried to sell out those kids? Boom. That's exactly what happened to me. Exactly what happened to me. Same shit. Same fucking shit. Same shit. Same shit. And it was so bad they had me test 3 and 4 times. But like, this is clearly a high IQ child. We gotta destroy this shit by any means necessary. But I don't hate whites for this shit. Because they was doing this shit to white children too. They sure the fuck was. Especially they lived on the outside of town. This is exactly the same shit that they did. Yep. They made you retest 3 and 4 fucking times, didn't they? Just like they did with me. Yep. So I'm not lying about this shit. I'm not lying about that. Yeah. But you got to understand that since the fucking failure is nearly 100%, they can get away with that type of shit, man. They can get away with that type of shit. So the level of hatred I have toward these people, I have towards non-productive people in general, not towards those people. I know what those people was there for. I know why they went into education. I know why they went into education. They went into education to destroy the fucking future. And these punk ass motherfuckers gave them the ability to do so by not fighting for their goddamn kids. So my hatred has a lot of fucking bases. That's what I'm saying. You know, they sat your ass down, got your ass comfortable by sitting around for 3 and 4 weeks, and they gave you some easy ass fucking exam that you can ace like a motherfucker, and then they turned around and be like, "Yeah, something wrong with your child. Okay, where's the test at? No wrong with my goddamn child." Like I said, man, bro, I'm not the only person who went through this shit. It's impossible for me to be the only person who went through this shit. It's impossible. And you have to think, I came from a fucking farming community. I wasn't even in like a black community like that. I was in a farming fucking community where goats, pigs, hogs, and motherfucking cows was being fucking slaughtered. That's like there ain't no way in the motherfucking hell off in Swiftwater, Mississippi, we got motherfuckers coming out here with IQ like that. There ain't no way somebody is in Swiftwater, Mississippi on some shit like that. There's no fucking way we got people out here who smart like that. There's no way. No way. That's why I have a problem with people calling themselves conservative. Because the type of conservatism that my grandparents fucking fought for and actually went through, it is not this manosphere shit, bro. It's not this manosphere shit at all. It ain't. And it took my grandfather to come down there to take me out of that school and move me back into the fucking hood for a little while. Because my mother didn't understand it. But my grandfather understood that shit all day. He understood the shit. They do that shit too, Bob. They held motherfuckers back for dumbass reasons. Like, bro, there's about 10 motherfuckers who did not graduate with us that we still celebrate as being part of our fucking class who was held back for bullshit reasons because their parents wasn't up on their money like that and they couldn't move out of the hood like that. So they held their kids back. I'm talking about smart kids. They didn't held whole dumb kids back. They held smart motherfucking kids back for no fucking reason. So that way they can lose interest in the educational process itself. That's why they fucking did it. We're talking about Mississippi here, where this shit was normal. All these people in the chat ain't from fucking Mississippi. They're not from Mississippi like that. Hold on a second. You can start with this one right here. You can start with this shit right here. Start with this one. And after you read this book, you decide whether or not that the shit that we talk about in the manosphere is the same shit they talk about in this book. That's what I'm saying. So when these people are claiming conservative and all this kind of other shit, bro, this is fucking crazy. There ain't no way these motherfuckers gave a fuck about you when they did us. You see that? There was no live streams about him being on the ground, talking to women and shit. There was none of that shit. Hold on a second, Bob. Hold on a second. All right, you got it, Bob. You got it. Listen, dude. At this point, our numbers are far too small to just deal with black men alone. A lot of these people have black ass fucking outcomes, and they didn't ask for them. So what you got to understand at this point is we got to be productive, and we have to be separate from everybody else. And that includes the people who want to be productive and separate from everybody else. We ain't got time for this racist bullshit right now, right? In a generation, none of us are going to be running anything. None of us, not white, and definitely not black. We're not going to be running shit. Actually, a pure black child and a pure white child is going to be an actual semblance of systemic failure if you're not actually out there fucking challenging these people. Because once they get rid of academic affirmative action, there's going to be Arabs and Indians who's going to take all these spots away from all these people that they claimed that they was actually taking away from black people. Yes, you need to start thinking about this shit. And those people don't have a problem with locking your ass out of the actual system itself and moving off into the middle of nowhere because that's how they operate now. I work with these people. I really do. Hold on a second. I got another book for you. So that way you can understand all the political jargon that is being thrown around. Hold on a second. Um, This is another book. If you want to know what everything else is actually focused on within this society and what these actual terms mean when you actually hear them, you need to get this book right here. Whoops, wrong shit. Hold on a second. Not that slide. This slide right here. This is another book that you should pick up. You need to understand this book. So that way when you hear these terms and all this bullshit going on, you can be able to know what's behind these terms. Very easy to understand. It's actually an actual audio form on audible.com. You need to make sure that you understand this book as well. That's what I'm saying. All this shit that people can easily get into, they need to do that shit. They need to. Again, I'm not telling you this stuff so that way I can have more control over you. I'm telling you this stuff so that way you can have more control over yourself and more control over what's going on within the actual environment. So when these people are telling you that there ain't shit that's actually relevant when it comes to actual politics, when you read those two books and you know exactly what these people are after, there ain't no way you're not going to be participating in every single election going forward. The people who should have the least amount of concern and worry are those people who are not participating. But we have the opposite. The people who have the most concern and worry are the people who don't participate at all. Oh yeah, especially. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me pull it up again. Hold on, let me pull it up again. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, conscious of the conservative. Yeah. Yeah, book two is Cracking the Code by Tom Hartman. But you need to understand what conservatism is about. You need to understand what conservatism is about. This guy's an actual conservative. Love it or hate him, this is what this guy's actually about, conservatism. Conscious of a conservative. I know I spent Orwell. Yeah. That's why you understand it. It don't make any sense to talk about this ADOS bullshit or any of this other shit. Of course it did, because I wasn't lying about it. No, Paul, this is an after live stream of the live stream I did earlier talking about the Manosphere meetup and how it wasn't going to amount to shit. Like I predicted, the first live stream wasn't going to amount to shit either. But since most of these people are here for the entertainment and bullshit perspective of things, they didn't jump on. There was people talking shit in the fucking chat, and I wanted to make a live stream that was pretty much basic, so that way they are on, so that way they can be able to come up and explain themselves. So that way I can let you know that these people are on some bullshit. They've always have been, but they hide behind most of the people who don't know how shit works. So I mean, they hide behind Thomas Sowell because Thomas Sowell's not debating anybody where he's gonna look stupid. It's kind of like Candace Owens. She's not gonna jump on and debate anybody who's gonna take her fucking head off. So that's what it is. So as you can see, I'm gonna drop the link once again. Maybe I'm lying. Nothing happened at the meetup, GC. It's just that yes, Theo Wolf had become Theo Soros for the fucking man spirit. That's what actually did happen. Hold on a second. Let me ask you a question. Nothing happened at the meetup. It's just that there's an argument between Little Big Nate and Minister Jap and Obsidian. Like they're all grifters, all of them. But at the end of the day, Little Big Nate, even though he's full of shit like the other two people that I just named, Little Big Nate doesn't have an audience like Minister Jab and actual Obsidian. Can y'all hear me? Hear the one in the chat, you can be able to hear me. Okay, cool. Like there's nothing wrong with Theo Waff. It's just that if he wanted to actually help people, that he would actually help the right people. He wouldn't help the relationship industry try to get into IT. Yeah, like that's the thing. But they're trying to have this another manosphere meetup that's not based on anything of substance. They're not substantive dudes. Like there's plenty of ways to get people out if your ass is on substance. Bro, you would have the whole city come out there. Welcome to the show, Mike B. What's going on, man?
Can you hear me?
I can. Oh, 100%. What's going on, man?
Oh, not much, man. I just wanted to make sure that the link works just fine and everybody can come up to the panel.
Yeah, I mean, because there's a lot of shit being talked, man, but don't nobody hit the link to come up, man. Like, I understand that. Yeah, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. Just did my another COVID test, man, so I can take off again. So,
oh, that's what's up. Hey, man, so when you going back out there?
probably I was supposed to leave this week, but no, that's not gonna work because I got the quarantine. But yeah, definitely next month, December, I'm gonna hit it again. Probably hit Belize, maybe one of the other Central American countries. Um, I'm gonna hit Kenya in February, Nigeria in March. Um, I think South Africa in March too. I might hit them back to back. Just rebook my flights, and yeah, man, just keep hitting the ground running, man. Just keep going out there and keep trying to make those keep networking, keep making those connections, man. And yeah, you ain't got to do no live streams about it, man. You just got to be about it.
Yeah, he's not part of the group, John Clark. He's not part of the group. He's not part of the group. He's not part of the group at all. Nope. As long as you there with them fuck niggas, you're not part of our group, man. Fuck you. Yeah. So it's just like it's like next week I'm going to Veracruz. I'm going there again. Yeah, man. Like a lot of fucking land out there up for lease. I'm trying to put whole communities on. Like when it comes to actually growing tobacco and coffee, like you can do shit like that in other countries that you don't have to go through a whole bunch of bullshit that you have to go through within the United States, man. That's the great thing about going out to other places and shit.
Yeah, there's actually two black men who went out to Tanzania recently and helped Tanzania get their nut production. Basically, they have cashew and other nuts sort of that they grow. Actually, helped them get their whole entire production off the ground. Now they have the most dominant brand of nuts and snacks on the continent. Took them from a penny investment to a multi-billion-dollar enterprise.
I mean, you
That's
have
just,
to understand that you have to get that the actual the SBA funds like up to $40 million for 40 million out the gate with a good business plan when it comes to import and export businesses. Like people don't even know that that's the fucking case. Like you can get as long as you have a good business plan and the way shit to get off the ground. Like bro, you can go to the SBA and they can fund the shit for you
well,
all day.
they're not even using SBA funds. They actually brought their
No,
own bag. They brought their
no,
own bag. But the thing
no,
here is,
no. But I'm saying that people in the United States can actually do that,
mhm,
but
mhm.
they're not. And people going over there and doing the shit with the things that are on the ground. I'm just saying that they fund shit like that in the United States, and people don't use it. Versus people going over there and messing with people on the ground over there, and they get this type of stuff done. So it's like, bro, if you have the business mind to get this shit done, like there's really no excuse for you not going over there.
Yeah, there's a lot of African Americans, man, who black men who are about something. They're over there. They're over there, man.
Yeah.
And I've met quite a few of them over in Ghana. Met a couple more out there in the Middle East, out in Doha. There's a lot of black people who are about something, especially black men. They not in the manosphere. They're outside of it.
Oh,
You know,
not at all.
they
Yeah.
operate outside of it. And those two guys, I forget the name right now, but they're basically going over there and building enterprises for African governments and creating jobs for the people on the ground. That's the sort of reputation that black men need to have when they go places. Not this, lay up in Airbnbs and do live streams. I don't got time for all that, man. I
Me
don't got
neither,
time for
man.
that, man. I
Me
spent
neither, man.
12, I spent 12, I think I was on my feet for about maybe 15 hours, man. Running around Accra, trying to make, going to different launch events and really interacting with different people on the ground, man. I had people who was introducing me to other people. Business. I got so many business cards in my suitcase, man. It's crazy. I still haven't gone through all of them because it's just so many people's names I got to know how to pronounce, and I got to add them to WhatsApp and stuff like that. There's just so much involved when it comes to networking that you just don't have the time to be really live streaming and stuff like that, or even making video pre-records, anything like that. So for me, going to the continent is a way that I use that time to decompress, to get away from white supremacy, but to also get away from a lot of fuck niggas, man. You get tired of seeing some of the stuff that you see in the manosphere and on a daily basis, man. Guys who just do a lot of talking, sell a lot of wolf tickets, but you drop the link and they don't come up.
Yeah, it's like, man, like when I go to Veracruz, I go like 4 times a year, right? I'm not gonna say where exactly where I go. I
Mm-hmm.
go out there, motherfuckers are ready, man. Oh shit, you from here? Oh, your uncle talks all this. So what's going on? All right, man. So what kind of land you got? So what can be grown in this land? We can grow this right here. This shit can be. We can hire this many people and put the money down. And I was like, you real? This for real? I'm like, you trying to hire like 200-300 people, right? It's not a big deal. Put the money down, but to go back out there, see what's going on, that type of shit. When I leased some land out there, out west last year, I had some people who come up from Mexico, same place, Veracruz, working the land, they live on the land, and all that kind of shit. The people like this can't be real. Our people are working down in like Texas and Mississippi and shit at chicken plants, and they don't get treated like this. Like, yeah, because we actually want you to fucking be here and partner with us. I'm from Mississippi, and I know what them people did to actually cheap labor, man. Like, there was no reason for them to do that shit to those type of people, man. I actually respect y'all and shit, and I want y'all to actually be able to work with me so that we can get more of your people out here and shit, right? And it's like
Mm-hmm.
they're looking around like, how come there ain't more people like you out here doing this shit? And it's like they don't care about that type of shit, man. They just don't. And it's like, dude, it's easy to work with people, man. It's way easier to work with people. A lot of people want to work with us. A lot of people want to work with just us, not nobody else. They just want to work with just us. We come down there. We're very, humble and
Mm-hmm.
all this type of shit. And it's like they want to work with us. They don't want to work with anybody else who's on that fucking bullshit. Like white dudes go down there, they have a bunch of shit going, and they live in the communities and everything else. And people are like, so how come he didn't come back to the United States? Dude, listen, man, he was treated like he was part of the community. He was treated like he was part of the community. The
Mm-hmm.
business that he has in the United States, he sent all his money down there to help them dudes get on. It's very different when you can feed 700 or 800 fucking people who want to be fucking fed, who want to actually work for you, rather than fucking 2 or 3 who don't want to here. Why the fuck when you go over there, man? It's
Yeah.
stupid. It's stupid to stay here.
Yeah. No, it is a lot of arable land over there. You can actually grow a lot of different crops, man.
Yes.
It's just they just need the small investment and they need some drive behind it. And I think that
Correct.
guys are just missing out on this because they want the easy, they want the easy, cushy job, being a dispatcher instead of being on the road and getting that money where it is, man. And so, it's a mindset, man, that has to be broken. And I think a lot of these guys in the space, the ones who focus on, selling the wolf tickets, man, they don't realize what kind of image that they're putting out there for black men, make guys look stupid. And so people talk to you like you're an idiot because they see guys, the loudest voices in the room.
Yeah, man. Like I had people talk to me about Cardi B and shit. I'm like, hey man, I had to pull them to the side, man. Like, hey man, don't ever fucking talk to me about this shit in front of other people, bro. You don't get your ass knocked the fuck out. If you want to talk about business shit, I'm here to talk about the business shit. I'm not here to talk about relationship industry shit or any of that whole shit. Like I don't want to talk about that, man. That's not why I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah. If for guys who are interested in going to the continent, man, you got to bring at least 10 bands. 10 bands to get anything off the ground. If you don't bring that, you ain't talking about nothing that's serious. Farming, Martin, what they call agri farming or
Yeah,
agri-tech. Agri-tech is
yeah,
really big
yeah,
now because you need to be able to scale the production. That means that, drip irrigation techniques, the
yeah.
ability to have drones really spraying the farms and stuff with pesticides and stuff like that, the ability to really, build greenhouses and actually produce crops overnight and scale them up, go from day 1 to day 28, having a full, bags worth of cocoa and things like that. That stuff is serious over there. That's a serious business model that people really follow. And that's the sort of stuff that I'm into. Yeah, Ike Ogerman is right. 10 bands at the very low end. That's the minimum. That's the minimum entry fee. And they want to do business. There's a whole, when you fill out the immigration form in your visa, It specifically asks, "Are you here to do business?" You got to select that.
Yeah, like I mean, shit, I had to do it for Mexico.
Hmm.
Like, so what's your interest in going here? You know, they was like, yeah, we already know you got an uncle down here, but why are you here?
Hmm.
This is what I'm here for, and all of a sudden my shit was stamped right away. When do you want to leave? They're, they're like, well, I thought my shit was held up. Like, it's not held up for business. It's held up for bullshit. But you ain't on some bullshit. Your uncle's down here. You put in a good word for you. You got money to invest right away. What's up? So you ready to leave? So when you want to leave?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Because the thing here is, they're combining the technology with the culture and the traditional methods of agriculture and other means of production. And so that means a cocoa farmer or whatever other type of farmer needs to get their product to market quickest as possible.
yeah.
You gotta leverage the technology. You gotta leverage the mobile communications, the WhatsApp, the picture taking and things like that. Making sure that from the time it comes out the ground, it has a destination that's where it's going to go, and that the farmer and everybody else, or the other the labor is going to get their cut up front. They're going to get that. They're going to get the bag all the way, and they know it's guaranteed. That's the sort of mindset that's going on right now. If you're in the manosphere and you're throwing up super chats and $100 here, $500, yeah, yeah, you look cool, but where's all this really going, right? And so a lot of times, like you were calling out with these conferences, these supposedly conservative conferences, ain't nothing really shaking with that. I don't see anything shaking with that. I just did more in 7 days than what they did in 7 months.
I mean, I built more connections and 3 or 4 times being over there than me going over there doing live streams and being on camera with just basic motherfucking Negro Latinas that are wayfinding the motherfuckers who are here. And it's like that's not why I went over there. I went over there to, hey man, so what are we doing with this land? Oh, you trying to invest in us? Yeah, I'm trying to invest in what's going on here. And my uncle took me over there, talked with the village elder. Okay, this is what we're trying to do in the area. It looked like this type of shit could be grown in this area. So what type of workers that we have and all this type of shit. And it was like, you trying to pay us this? I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to pay y'all that. I'm trying to bring y'all in as actual business partner and all this kind of shit. And I'm like, look, I'm from Mississippi. I know what the fuck we fucked up at. We messed up at not bringing people actual in as actual equals and actual talent that need to be respected. I'm not trying to do that with y'all. What? When we deal with other people over here, they trying to do that. I'm like, dude, I'm not other people, man. Not other people. Talking to the mayor, talking to all type of other people, everybody on board, going back next week. What's the problem? No problem whatsoever. You go over there with the investment, you're putting people on, no really real problems. They know that they don't get any investment in that type of area with those type of people, and that's what they own, man. Or we could be here talking about women. What's going on, man?
Yeah, I met a woman from Sudan who her people out there, they actually make pottery, African pottery. Now they sell these things on the side of the road, but they would have a bigger market if we were able to scale it up, leveraging the technology and putting more money in their pocket and making the environment better for them and for everybody else that comes around there. And so this sort of pottery, man, they may sell it for maybe $5 or $10 over there, but if you put that in the global market, man, that pottery gonna sell for thousands of dollars.
If not tens of thousands, just the pottery alone.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, like,
thought
look at how much
I
money that they actually pay for this bullshit ass artwork, and you got real artwork created by real people. Come on,
yeah,
man.
yeah, I thought the pottery was out of a museum or something, but they had made it by hand themselves.
Yeah.
They turn in the pottery maker thing with their feet, and I'm like, yo, that's crazy that they can do that. But they're so accustomed to doing it because it's traditional for them, and so their idea of conservatism is different than what you hear in the manager, right? They're trying to maintain their way of life, but they're also still trying to get to the bag too.
And it's much better because they're not gonna put bullshit artists in front of you
Mm-hmm.
when you talk to people. Like when I talk to people, oh, we this, we that, we graduated from this right here. This is the guy you need to talk to. Oh, okay. You talk to this guy, very articulate, boom, boom, boom. They're trying to like, yeah, this is my daughter. You need to
Mm-hmm.
go to dinner with her. You need to go. You need to go eat with this guy. Yeah, that's what you're doing. You're eating with this guy right here
Mm-hmm.
today. You're going to eat with this guy, and you need to do everything that you possibly fucking can to make sure this dude come back.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the shit was. It was like, look, these people are investing in the actual system. We need to make sure that these men in these areas are actually welcome when they come back over here. And it was
Mm-hmm.
like, but they don't understand. Like, so what? Most of the question was, so why are you doing this? No, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not just trying to employ people who are here and there ain't no fuck shit going on. Like, what's going on, man? And to them, it was like, so I didn't hear anything about leases and periods of time and when it was going to be changing hands. I'm like, nah, man, I'm here actually to help your community, and we're going to do this shit as a co-op. It's a 50-50 co-op. Your
Yep.
people going to be in on this shit, and I'm going to be in on this shit. It was like, well, the last 20 people who came over here wasn't on some co-op shit, and they was on some corruption shit. I'm like, I'm not on that. They sit there like, this can't be real. A black dude came over here, not on some bullshit, put up the money right away, want to do this stuff the way it went to the people I need to talk to the mayor, talk to all this shit. These people like, we need more of y'all over here. How come y'all not over here? We want to do business with you guys. That's what
Too
they like,
busy,
man.
too busy chasing the validation of a woman. And that's really where it's coming down to. What's separating a lot of guys in the space. The progressive brothers, man, brothers who are really about something, man. You never really hear them, about them really complaining about female validation. It's really the brothers
Nah.
who's really about going after, progress. And I just think that if we had 100 black men in the manosphere who went, it doesn't even have to be the continent. You can be going to DR. You could be going down to Honduras. If 100 black men showed up with $10,000 in the bag each, it's a different conversation that's going to be had. They have to talk to you. They see 100 different visas being registered coming in through their immigration system, and they hear about this flight. Everybody's going on the same flight. Everybody's touching down in the same place. Yeah, they want to know what's going on. And they want to have a conversation.
And that's not the only thing. Like I had people like rearranging my flights and shit in transit to get me to land at other places to talk
Mm-hmm.
to me on my way to go to another place.
Yeah,
I had that shit happen a couple times.
yeah.
And they was like, well, I'm like, man, why the fuck my flight get rearranged? Everything was perfect. There's nothing wrong with the plane. And all of a sudden, hey, I'm the mayor of this place right here. And hey, I hear you got this going on. Like, what you got? Like, no. That's legit. That's the guy from this place right here. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm chopping it up in the actual terminal, and this guy's like, do you have anybody who can invest in our shit? Hand me a portfolio, all the shit open, all this kind of shit. We got this type of land, we got these type of acres. Is there any way you can get some people to come over here and invest in our shit? If not you.
Yeah, and that's what we call micro VC or micro venture capitalist,
Yeah.
microfinancing. That sort of stuff is really big over there. And they don't always use cash unless they absolutely have to. And so what I found out was that they're paying through mobile pay, SIM
Yeah.
card to SIM card, right? And so now we're having a different conversation because now you're getting to their needs in a way that that's more that can be manifested quicker, right? And so you're paying them quicker, they're receiving their money quicker, and it's scaling the business quicker. You know,
Correct.
um,
And you got a lot
we-
of buy-in. You got a lot of labor
Mhm.
that's ready to go right now. You ain't got to worry about a whole bunch of bullshit. And you've already met with the people on the ground. There ain't a whole bunch of nonsense that you have to go through. Like I
Mhm.
said, this shit was $5,000 that they needed. $5,000 to buy this land to fucking get 300 motherfuckers out there digging up this shit and preparing the shit. 5 grand. That's all they wanted. 5 grand.
A lot of the
Nuts.
women that I met over there are over there teaching English. I'm talking about African American women. They're over there teaching
Yeah.
English. Okay, the women understand what needs to be done. Like you can't do business. I mean, your whole entire economic system is in English. I mean, what are you going to do, right? But if you have people who don't understand the language, the women have carved out a lane for themselves by going over to teach English. And so, where you pick up the ball as a man is as a black man, you come in and you start leveraging the supply chain and other sort of investments and resources. And I think that in the manosphere, these conversations are not happening more frequently because we're being, overrun by political illiteracy as well as people who just basically occupying the space, with effery, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just like they they occupy Manosphere Street. That is, that's what we got, man. Hey, just come here, just occupy the space, and just like, oh, all this progress, not today, folks. And they just pull the plug on it, man. And now the same people who set this nonsense up was the same people who's trying to turn around and act like they're not part of it. And it's like you have the same people who support them over there, and they have to drag them along on this nonsense. And it's like this is what this stuff is about. You don't have to do these type of things. Like this is what it is. It's kind of like okay, you set up this nonsense. You wanted to be a leader
Mhm.
of a space that you wasn't doing nothing with. You're over
Mhm.
there on the continent yourself, and now you turn around to where it has to be everybody else's fault but you. But you was the one who tried to kick dudes out to space and wanted to set up this barrier, and you're the only one who could live stream and all this kind of other shit. But now,
Gatekeepers.
yeah, it's like fake ass gatekeepers. Like, man, this shit is nuts, and it's like if there's anybody that should be complaining about it, it's you. But it's like, bro, you know what's going on over there. You know how good the shit is over there.
Mhm.
How come you ain't telling nobody about this shit? Nothing. You saying nothing? All right,
I
all right,
mean,
man. Okay.
something as simple as waste management. How do you deal with biodegradable trash as well as non-recyclable trash and so on and so forth? These sort of things matter over there, you know.
My Mike,
Mhm.
listen, man. My limited information on what's going on in the military in the Mississippi Delta.
Mhm.
They wanted to talk to me about what's going on in your city because we're going through a similar thing about not having enough landfills and all that kind of other shit, and trying to do things to like kind of incinerate. They want to talk to me about that.
Yeah.
I brought it up to them. They was like, "You're from this place right here. This is what you're doing. We want to talk to you about this issue that you're going through in your actual city." And I'm like, "Well, you got coding and laws," and they was like, "We don't have any of that. How do we get rid of this shit?" And I'm like, "Well, it's just very simple and easy." And they were like, and it's like everywhere I went, they were just pumping me for information when I just need to be on the ground over there, just helping them out with the shit
Mhm.
and getting paid for actually being over there and being a part of the actual system. And this ain't the place you can do it. You can't do this shit from this place over here. You can't.
No, I put a link in the chat earlier, probably a few minutes ago, for the Black Bread Company. You got three black men who established the only black bread company in the country, uh, making wheat bread as well as regular rye bread and stuff like that. This started, with small investment. Now they secured a deal with Target for 2023 to start selling their bread inside Target stores as a part of Target's what do you call it, diversity, equity, and inclusion program to fund $1 billion in black owned products.
Yeah, I do that with Walmart and I do that with Target with some other products. But yeah, you
Mhm.
are correct that they do that. Like like what they don't have more than anything else is they don't have food source is things with black people. Like they don't have that type of shit with black people, but they do have like the chargers, the phone chargers, the actual
Mhm.
other things that are actually needed, but they don't have like the shit that they actually want. Like they don't want food shit from people. They want hard other type of, especially with tools. Tools are super easy to make. Super easy to make. You can make them in China. You can make them anywhere.
Mhm.
But that's the type of shit that they want to work with because they know how much they're getting ripped off on with the actual AutoZones and the O'Reillys and their actual counterparts and the shit that shows up within their stores. They're looking for actual black people to like replace all that shit. Like I said, when it came to you know We talked a couple of weeks ago when it came to like the security apparatus for the actual VA facilities all over the country. They're canceling the contracts of these police unions, and they're trying to replace them with veteran-owned organizations because the actual union was in there at $300-400 an hour when they was turning down veteran organization for $70 and $80 an hour. But there was such in there so heavy that they just started just canceling these people's contract off rip.
Hmm.
They'd be like, look, yeah, like all this shit is happening at the same time, but while we meeting up in places and focusing on bitches, like, dude, this shit ain't gonna get shit done for people. It ain't.
Yeah, man.
And it's like, what does it say? If they type in anybody's name that they see somewhere and they see this is the shit that they own. Like, bro, we have a very limited time window to deal with these people in other countries. Once they figure out that these people are on some fucking bullshit, they gonna start fucking with us all together, and they only gonna deal with people who come over there and deal with them. It is a very limited opportunity window right now for people who are actually over there and in there. Very limited. Because once they figure out that these people are no better than the people that they're trying to stay away from within their own culture, they're gonna go to other sources for actual investment.
Yeah, because they don't need you anymore.
Correct. Once they got like other people who come over there and do this shit, bro, they don't need me no more. They don't need you no more. They don't even want to hear anything from black Americans at all. Even though they want to fuck with us like that, but if this is all the shit that we own while we're here, and that's what it is. I mean, I don't want it to be that way, but they have to see that a lot of these people are on some bullshit when they go over there. It's crazy.
Yeah, but thanks for having me up, bro.
All right, thanks. Thanks for coming on, Mike. All right, I want to thank Mike for coming on. Gonna have him on for an interview next week. But I want to thank you guys for coming through. As you can see, when it comes down to talk about tangibles and all this shit, the actual issue with the black woman don't it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even rank as the top 100,000 fucking things that black men have to worry about. It's the shit that bitch ass niggas have to worry about. That ain't nothing that we have to worry about here. You know what I'm saying? Look, if you don't match or mesh with them, then I suggest you leave them alone. It's not even that big of a deal. It's not even that much of a problem. Hold on a second. Hey man, you gotta turn your camera off. LOM. LOM, turn your camera off. All right, there you go. Hey, what's going on, man?
So, brother, you mentioned you had mentioned that.
Yeah, I can barely hear you. I can barely hear you.
Wait, hold on, 1 second. Hold on. Can you hear me now?
All the way. Go ahead, man.
Okay, yeah. You mentioned agrotech, and that it only costs like 10K to get started.
Yes.
Yes.
Damn, interesting.
I mean, because 10K is worth a lot of money over there.
Hmm. No, I was
But you have to
asking.
understand that most people go over there. They go over there with no money. They go over there just to venture for like low weight hoes when they go over there. They don't go over there on some business shit. They don't. To be quite honest, they don't go over there for that type of thing. You have to understand that most people go over there on some sightseeing shit, they're on some hotep shit. They're not trying to really engage and deal with the people because they ain't shit over there either, right? It's not like they ain't shit over here, which is obvious. They're not shit over there when they go over there. So what they do is they go over there to present themselves as somebody that they're not in the United States because they don't have enough experience to know bullshit motherfuckers from people who actually want to do business over there. That's the difference on that.
Damn, and this is Tanzania.
Yeah, Tanzania is nice. Yeah.
But yeah, so the country that's wait, all you mean all the African countries doing agrotech, or just West African?
I mean, I only know like three or four, but at the end of the day, once you do your research and actually go over there, it's probably more people who's doing that shit than not doing it.
Hmm.
Think about it. Like every country's trying to get their Microsoft off the ground. Everybody's trying to get their Intel off the ground. Everybody's trying to get their AMD off the ground. It's not just them. You could do the same shit. They just don't have the actual investment to get the shit rolling. And it's not just the tech shit. It's a bunch of shit you can get into that's nearly the same thing. So
Yeah, so basically, I can just Google like agritech investing and just put Africa or just yeah.
yeah. So it's yeah.
Oh yeah, I see startup. Oh yeah, that's right, startup. Okay. Startups.
Yeah, man, because you have to realize that when most people go over there, they go over there on some sightseeing bitches type shit. Like they're not over there for the actual trying to get shit done type piece because they've never been on that type of time. You know, when you take the type of flight to go over there, 16, 18 hours, you land, you're trying to do shit while you're over there, right? You know, you're not trying to be on some bullshit when you're over there. Like when I go to Mexico, I have an itinerary when I go. Call the State Department, figure out the places to go, get these people figured out and checked out. I'm going and I got to ride places where I'm actually going. From this place, that place, this mayor, I'm gonna meet with. I already know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm not going over to sightsee. I'm not doing none of the shit that these motherfuckers are talking about. Like all this fucking passport bullshit that they fucking talking about. Like I'm not doing that. I'm going over there for business and putting motherfuckers on in their actual environment. So it's easy to go over there for those reasons than those fucking other reasons. I'm gonna be going to Central America for the same exact reason. It's going there for the same thing. Going there, putting money down, hella lush land down there that you can get shit rolling with. And that's what I'm on when I go to these other places. Like this is why I kind of dropped out of the passport kind of conversation and all the kind of other shit because the reason why I'm over there is cultural and business. I'm not going over there for pleasure and bitches. I don't give a fuck about that. I get bitches here.
Yeah, yeah, me too. I'm actually past that whole yeah, that whole going to other countries to get to get peace leave and all that. I'm past that shit anyway. I'm like I'm 34 years old. I'd rather just focus on business. Fuck it, just
I mean, because when you focus on business, the motherfuckers are coming anyway. So it's not even that big of a deal. But when you are trapped within these type of communities, that's the only thing that is. Hey, Panama is shit. Like that's my next place I'm going. This can act a fool if she want to. A Panamanian will be the next type of woman that is going to be beside me. No doubt about it.
most of
Yeah.
the weather
So
here too. Yeah, I mean I like it when their beaches and the
yeah.
their jungles and all that stuff too. Man, actually, yeah, I like Panama. Me in general, I like coast and I like tropic regions. That's me. I'm from North Carolina. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So that's what we on, man. You know, we're just trying to move this shit into a different direction. So that way, when they go, because nobody in the media is going up to these events and shit. So that way, you can have a track record down on what the manosphere is actually about and all this other shit. That's why I'm doing the live stream. That way, when they call me up, they be like, "Well, we're gonna discuss some substantive shit. You, you're not about to Andrew Taylor, nigga. You're not about to fucking have me up there answering questions on some fucking bullshit. We're gonna talk about this shit beforehand. We're gonna talk about what the fuck I'm gonna do when I'm coming to the city, capital investments, and actual outcomes. So that way I'm not answering questions about gender war fucking bullshit. I don't give a fuck about that shit. You talk to other dumb motherfuckers about that type of stupid shit. It's called Low Rock
Mm-hmm.
2517. Yeah, but that's where we at, man. It's just that you have to understand that these meetups have done nothing but ruin the credibility of the manosphere and put a bunch of people in places that think that they are on some shit that they clearly not on. If you're not on some productive man shit on your fucking live streams, why the fuck would you be on it when you show up to a specific room to talk about this shit? Stupid.
Mm-hmm. It's a complete circus. Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, man. So let me get up out of here, man. So,
Okay. Yeah. I'm
all
not
right,
you,
cool.
man.
All right, all right man. I want to thank you guys for coming through. Yeah, this was all going on, man. You made a lot of money down there on that Colorado Springs, man. I want to thank you guys for coming through. As you can see, people around here ain't about the productivity piece. They don't care about progress. They don't give a fuck about none of that shit. They give a fuck about being conservative and causing problems and being whatever they are. The reason why they came here because they didn't come here to move men forward. Okay. As you can see, the link has been dropped multiple times. Link worked. Other people hit the link. They didn't come up. We'll just let you know that they're on some fucking bullshit. So, I want to thank you guys for coming through. I'm the man tomorrow. I'm the last man standing in the black manosphere. You guys have a really